Okay, let's unpack this. Welcome to the deep dive.
Glad to be here.
Today, we are doing just that, a deep dive into some really powerful material from Carly Pollack's book, Feed Your Soul, Nutritional Wisdom to Lose Weight Permanently and Live Fulfilled.
Yeah, and this is definitely not your typical diet book, is it?
Not at all.
Ah.
Carly Pollack, she's a certified clinical nutritionist, founder of Nutritional Wisdom,
Mm-hmm.
and she's known for this pretty unique approach, linking spiritual growth with actual nutrition. She's got the accolades, taught nutritionist and all that. But her real focus is looking beyond just the food on the plate.
Absolutely. And the core idea, the thing that really jumps out, it's basically challenging all those traditional diet plans. You know, the ones we've probably all tried.
Oh, definitely, a million times.
Right. She's saying that real permanent change, it doesn't come from just gritting your teeth, from willpower or restriction. It actually comes from within.
Okay.
It's about building like a genuinely loving relationship with yourself first. And then food stops being this constant battle.
Well, becomes
Well, it becomes a blessing, something that actually nourishes you and supports your unique body and needs.
that framing alone is it's a huge shift, isn't it? Especially for anyone who's been caught in that diet cycle for years.
It really is. So our mission today in this deep dive is to go through the material you've shared from the book
Yeah.
and really pull out the most important nuggets, those key insights about the mind-body connection, the things that actually drive lasting health and fulfillment.
And we're doing this specifically for you, the listener, to help cut through all the noise out there and understand what truly matters beyond just, counting calories or macros.
Exactly. Where should we start?
Let's get right into it, starting with that struggle.
Yeah.
Because it's so relatable, right? That feeling in the morning, dreading the scale,
Yes.
seeing the number, and instantly that inner voice kicks in. Ugh, you're worthless, no self-control, just because of something you ate yesterday.
Or the jeans test. Trying on jeans that just don't fit right. That sting. That's a familiar pain for many.
That's the starting point for so many people. And the author, Carly, her big aha moment, it came from her own struggles.
Yeah.
She realized the permanent changes in her body didn't start with changing her diet.
Right. They started when she looked inward. Started examining the underlying thoughts that were just running rampant in her brain.
Yeah. She talks about being the weekday warrior, totally dialed in, hitting the gym, eating clean.
Mm-hmm. Driven by that thought. I want to feel good. I want to feel vibrant.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But then Friday hits, and suddenly there's this little shift in thinking.
Subtle, yeah.
It's the weekend. I'm stressed. I deserve a reward. I need to relax.
And that tiny shift in thought creates a completely different feeling, which then, boom, drives totally different actions. You go from warrior to
Weekend partier. And the key insight is no diet plan on earth could fix that internal conflict. The fight wasn't really with the food.
It was with her own mind. Absolutely.
So the foundation she builds on, it starts with a really simple but incredibly powerful question you can ask yourself anytime.
Which is it?
What am I thinking right now?
Or if you're more in tune with feelings first, maybe start with, what am I feeling?
Yeah, but then take it deeper. She says, ask, okay, what story am I telling myself right now that is creating this feeling?
Ah, that's the pivot. That's where the focus shifts.
Yeah.
Away from obsessing over the plate.
And towards uncovering what's happening inside that actually needs healing. Because, let's be honest, by the time you're arguing with yourself about whether to eat the cookie,
The decision was kind of made way earlier by those thoughts and feelings.
it really makes you aware of how loud that internal chatter is. I loved her analogy of people watching in New York City.
Oh, yeah, that was good.
Everyone looks so different, right? Different
Yeah.
styles, attitudes. But she says, if you could actually hear their thoughts,
Chaos.
total chaos. But also, surprisingly similar things. Fear, judgment, comparison, jumping to the worst case scenario.
Mostly negative, just this constant, relentless hum of negativity.
And that chatter, it's not just background noise, is it? It has real consequences. She connects it to, like, the law of attraction, or she calls it food karma.
Food karma, I like that.
The idea is basically like attracts like. So if you're feeling bad, stressed, judgmental, vibrating at that low frequency.
You're going to crave foods that match that feeling, foods that ultimately make you feel even worse.
Exactly.
Yep.
Which totally reframes the idea of comfort foods.
Right. Because things like, say, fried chicken or mac and cheese, they might give you a few minutes of distraction, maybe numb you out.
Short-term bliss, yeah.
But afterwards,
Yeah.
you still feel emotionally crummy. Plus, you've added physical discomfort, maybe bloating, guilt.
Her question is pretty blunt. Why create a second problem, the physical fallout, when you're already dealing with the first one, the emotional discomfort?
It's about seeing that the feeling before you eat is the real driver. You're trying to fix that feeling, but the food chosen in that state just keeps the cycle going. It's not real comfort.
It's escape with a price tag. She even shared that personal story about failing a test she studied hard for.
Yeah, that feeling of intense shame.
Right. It shows how emotions can just completely hijack us, often way out of proportion to the actual event.
Okay, so thoughts are powerful. They drive feelings, they drive actions, including eating, which leads perfectly into the next big piece, unpacking those thoughts. Specifically, separating fact from story.
This was huge for her. She said this distinction was at the absolute root of her own food self-sabotage. She'd tell herself, oh, I didn't care after eating something off-plan.
But deep down, her higher self knew she cared a lot. That disconnect is key.
And this fact versus story idea is, I think, one of the most practical takeaways. A fact is just what happened, verifiable. I sent a text, full stop.
Right. The story is everything else we layer on top. She hasn't texted back. She's mad. She always does this. She's ignoring me. That's where all the suffering comes from.
And that story is often just made up. Or think about looking in the mirror.
Yeah.
The fact is maybe my body has this shape.
The story is, I'm fat, I look disgusting, and that feels so real, like a fact.
Totally. But it's a story because, as she says, not everyone would agree. A fact has no debate. The sky is blue, generally, fact. I look terrible, definitely a story.
And here's the kicker. Repeat those stories often enough.
They become beliefs. They feel like concrete reality.
Exactly. She tells the story of her client, David. Lost 50 pounds, amazing, but then stalled on the last few pounds.
Why?
Because his story, which had become a belief, was, this is where it gets hard. Everyone struggles with the last 15 pounds, so it will be slow and painful for me. He confused correlation with causation.
Ah, okay. He saw others struggle, so he assumed it was a universal law that applied to him.
Yep. So she suggests a brilliant little mind trick. Reframe these limiting beliefs as theories.
Theories, how does that work?
Instead of thinking, I look awful in this bathing suit, try thinking, it's my theory that I don't look good in this bathing suit.
Huh. Just adding theory.
It creates distance, makes it less absolute, more questionable. Suddenly, it's not a fixed fact, just an idea you're testing. And apparently, it worked for David with his last few pounds theory.
So how do we dig up these hidden beliefs? They can be sneaky.
Her practical method is simple. Grab a pen and paper and write down thoughts I think about. Fill in the blank with areas like my body, food, exercise, maybe money, relationships.
And just brain dump.
Yeah, let it all out. No filter, all the judgments, the fears, the assumptions. It's like taking inventory. You might uncover stuff like, my body is just stubborn, or I'm just not disciplined.
Like her example of kids with divorced parents versus kids with happily married parents.
Yeah.
They often develop very different core beliefs about marriage itself.
Exactly. Environment shapes belief. But the good news is, once you see those old limiting theories,
You can choose new ones.
you can consciously introduce and practice new core beliefs, like the one she offers. Everything happens for me, not to me.
That's a game changer. You can't always control events, but you always control the meaning you give them. Empowering story versus victim story.
Totally. But she's clear, changing these deep beliefs isn't instant. It takes patience. You have to consciously call on the new beliefs, connect with that higher part of yourself.
And be kind to yourself during the process.
Immense compassion, yeah. It's like rewiring your brain from fear and control towards love and surrender. It's a daily practice, and that's what builds the clarity for taking aligned action.
That story about her breakup and the energy healer, Steve, was really powerful too.
Oh, yeah. She was in so much pain, totally desperate, makes this list of everything she wants in a partner,
And he just rips it up.
rips it up, and tells her, basically, it's not about the list, it's about you. You need to become the vibrational match for the person you want to attract.
Wow. So the focus shifted from finding the right person to being the right person.
Exactly. It gave her clarity on who she wanted to be. And she feels meeting her husband later was a direct result of that internal shift, living from that new place.
It really underscores that the external stuff tends to follow the internal work.
Which flows right into the pain-pleasure principle she discusses.
Okay, what's the gist of that?
Simple idea, really. Most things that bring you significant long-term pleasure usually involve some kind of short-term pain or discomfort first.
Give me an example.
Okay, ordering a healthy salad when everyone else is getting pizza and wings. Short-term pain, right? feeling a bit left out, maybe resisting craving.
Yeah, definitely.
But the long-term pleasure, feeling energetic after, feeling good in your clothes later, hitting your health goals, compare that to the, say, 4 minutes of bliss from eating the pizza,
Short-term pleasure.
followed by the long-term pain, feeling sluggish, bloated, maybe guilty, weight gain over time.
Makes sense. Short-term pain for long-term gain versus short-term gain for long-term pain.
And it applies everywhere, doesn't it? Feeling fit requires the pain of working out. Saving money requires the pain of saying no to impulse buys. A healthy relationship needs the pain of managing your reactions sometimes.
There's always an upfront investment for a worthwhile outcome.
Exactly. And one of the biggest stories that stops people from making that investment.
Let me guess. I don't have time.
Bingo. She calls that out hard, says it's just a story. We always make time for what we truly prioritize.
Ouch. Truth hurts sometimes.
Yeah, she uses herself as an example, skipping meditation but finding hours for TV or scrolling. It forces that honest question. Where am I actually spending my time, and what does that say about my real priorities?
She mentioned that vacation insight, too.
Yeah, when she was totally absorbed in new experiences, feeling fulfilled by life.
Food obsession just faded away.
It wasn't the main event anymore. But back home, if she didn't consciously choose how to spend her time, if she just let the day happen to her.
Old patterns creep back in.
Exactly. So the takeaway is actively decide how you want to spend your days. Don't just react.
And she briefly touched on other pain stories, too, like I don't have the money or I don't have support. Seeing those as limiting narratives.
Right. Stories that limit our resourcefulness. Okay, so speaking of limiting states, stress, the big one.
Oh, yeah. The classic excuse, I'm too stressed to eat healthy, or I can't handle my stress and my health goals at the same time.
It feels so real. But her reframe is powerful. Stress, she says, is basically just a code word.
Code word for?
Fear. It means you've checked out of the present moment and you're mentally living in some scary future scenario that probably hasn't even happened.
Like stressing about an exam weeks before you take it.
Exactly. You're burning energy focusing on what you don't want in a time that doesn't exist yet.
It reminded me of that quote. Depression is living in the past, anxiety is living in the future, peace is living in the present.
That's it, precisely.
Yeah.
How often is our stress about right now versus a what if?
Rarely, when you think about it.
And okay, she acknowledges, sometimes the bad thing does happen. That's life.
So then what?
That's where those core beliefs come back in. Believing things happen for you, it allows you to maybe not like it, but accept it, learn, and move forward as a stronger version of yourself rather than getting stuck.
It's that constant tension between trying to control everything and learning to surrender.
Exactly. So much anxiety comes from fighting the reality that a lot of life is just out of our control. Peace comes from accepting a certain amount of that unknown, finding your threshold.
It's amazing how stress can poison even good things. Worrying about bombing a presentation you were excited about.
Or rain on your vacation, or messing up a new job, or obsessing over a baby's health, or constantly fearing the weight will come back.
It steals the joy from the present.
She offers a tool for this. Manage the downside, but only once.
How?
Think logically. What's the absolute worst case scenario? Okay, how would I handle that? Make a plan, lean on a core belief maybe, and then
Drop it.
drop it and immediately pivot. Ask, what is the absolute best case scenario here? How can I focus my energy on that and help make it happen? Feel the shift just asking that.
Yeah, it changes the energy instantly.
Yeah.
From dread to possibility.
So the bottom line on stress, living in that chronic state messes you up physically, but it also gives food way too much power. Binging, restricting, they become tools for control.
When you feel out of control elsewhere.
Right. Getting rid of that chronic stress by managing your thoughts and fears keeps you present. And presence is the foundation of health. Happiness, peace, those are the real goals. Food's just a tool, not the destination.
Okay, mind, beliefs, stress.
Mm.
Let's bring it back to the physical side. And that word, diet. Such a loaded term.
It really is, isn't it? And she emphasizes, look, one size fits no one. We're all unique. We need, as she calls them, loving boundaries with food tailored to us.
But crucially,
Trying to stick to any diet plan without doing that inner work first, managing thoughts, feelings, stress, she literally calls it utter chaos. It's just setting yourself up to fail.
makes sense. So while it's individual, is there a common ground? A starting point?
Yes. She offers a universal foundation. Minimize the obvious stuff, sugar, alcohol, chemically processed junk. Maximize living foods,
Living food.
things that spoil quickly because they're full of life. Organic veggies, fruits, nuts, seeds, beans, whole grains, good quality pasture-raised meats and eggs, wild fish, clean water.
And she's clear this isn't deprivation. You can eat amazing, delicious meals.
Totally. Grass-fed burgers, protein pancakes, fish tacos, real food is delicious.
But then comes the individual part.
Right. Layering on your own body's feedback. Some people thrive without dairy, others need to cut grains. It takes some trial and error, really listening.
Like the vegan example she used. Works great for some, disaster for others.
Exactly. Her point. When you see two passionate, opposite views on diet, chances are both are right and wrong depending on the person. It's about finding your right.
She mentioned metabolic typing briefly, too.
Yeah, it's just one framework for understanding that biochemical individuality, protein types, carb types, mixed types needing different fuel mixes. It adds some logic to why different plans work for different people.
And she makes that strong distinction. Real food versus fake food.
Yeah. Acknowledging food tech started for good reasons, safety, shelf life. But then greed took over, leading to these frankenfoods.
Chemicals, weird fats, stuff our bodies don't even recognize.
Exactly. Humans need energy from alive foods packed with actual nutrients. Simple, really.
Okay, here's a big question then. You're doing the inner work, you're eating real food. Why might weight loss still stall? She challenges that simple calories in, calories out idea, right?
Absolutely. Because the body is way more complex than a calculator. Stress and hormones play a huge role. We live in this cortisol culture, she says.
Cortisol culture.
Chronic, low-level stress keeping us in that fight or flight mode, which messes up our hormones, fatigue, sleep issues, cravings, mood swings, bad PMS, weak immunity. Sound familiar?
Yeah, to many people.
And here's the critical link to weight. That hormonal imbalance makes it really hard for your body to burn stored fat. She puts it bluntly. Stress will make you fat.
So restricting calories might not even work if your hormones are out of whack.
Exactly. Your body's prioritizing survival, holding on to resources. To break that stall, you have to address the root cause. The stress, the lack of self-care, the negative beliefs fueling it. You need hormonal balance for weight loss.
Okay, but what if stress isn't the main issue? Or you don't have those symptoms?
Then she points to 4 common behavioral patterns that often sabotage things, even when people think they're being good.
Number 1.
Overeating. Sounds obvious, but it's easy to do unconsciously. Huge portions, eating on the run, mindless snacking.
That's easy to slip into.
Her rule of thumb, the 2 hands rule. A portion is roughly what fits in your cupped hands. Simple visual.
Okay, number 2. Surprisingly.
Undereating. This trips a lot of people up. Cut calories too drastically and your body goes into survival mode. It slows your metabolism, lowers that key free T3 hormone to conserve energy.
So trying to save calories by skipping meals can backfire.
Massively, especially for busy people skipping lunch. Your brain cares more about survival than your swimsuit size.
Got it. Number 3.
Not enough activity, and not just intense workouts, but overall daily movement. Walking, taking stairs, just moving more. Trying to lose weight only through diet is really hard long-term because the body adapts. You need both fuel and movement.
Okay, and the 4th point.
If you've honestly addressed stress and those 3 behaviors and are still stuck, maybe it's time to dig deeper with a professional. A holistic MD, naturopath, nutritionist. They can run tests for hidden imbalances.
But the message is still hopeful.
Always. The body wants to heal. There's usually an underlying reason that can be found.
This brings us nicely to conscious eating. She breaks down why we eat into 2 main reasons.
Right. One is actual physical hunger. The other, trying to change how we feel emotionally.
Emotional eating. We know that one. Boredom, frustration, loneliness, stress.
Yeah. It's using food to distract from discomfort. Sometimes it's even subconscious, creating a simpler problem like weight gain to avoid facing a deeper emotional issue.
But it never actually solves the original problem, does it?
Never. Just adds another layer. So conscious eating, it's more than just eating slowly, right?
Much more. It's about cultivating deep presence during meals, building a respectful relationship with food and your mind. She calls it a spiritual practice.
A daily intention, not just a task.
Exactly, and she connects it to conscious being. The way we do anything is the way we do everything. Slowing down with food helps you slow down in life, make better decisions, notice more beauty.
So what are some practical ways to cultivate this?
First, the big one. Eat only when physically hungry. Pause before eating. Ask, am I actually hungry?
And the answer is no.
Ask, what am I feeling right now that I want to shift or avoid by eating? Boom. Back to the emotion.
Okay, what else?
Changing rewards. If food has become your go-to reward, consciously find non-food alternatives that feel good without the negative consequences. A walk, yoga, a small treat purchase, reading.
Retraining that reward pathway makes sense.
Third, identifying physical hunger. This can be tricky. Her tip. If you're unsure, you're probably not truly hungry.
What does true hunger feel like then?
Undeniable. Empty stomach, maybe a little twisty, blood sugar dropping, irritability, craving a real meal, not just a cookie. She has a hunger scale from 0 to 6.
Aiming for level 3, satisfied.
Right. And she suggests closing your eyes when checking in to really tune into your body.
Good tip. What's next?
Fourth, love foods that love you back. Simple concept. Honor your body's feedback. If a food consistently makes you feel bad, listen, avoid it most of the time.
Like your gluten and dairy issues, but it's not about rigid perfection.
No, permission granted. Pizza in NYC, gelato in Italy, enjoy. But make the habit choosing foods that leave you feeling good.
Okay, and the last practice.
You bite it, you write it. Food journaling, but crucially for awareness, not judgment or calorie counting.
Just an inventory to spot patterns. Why am I eating this? When?
Exactly. Seeing it written down brings those mindless or emotional habits into the light, non-judgmentally.
So these aren't rules, they're tools for building that mindful, respectful relationship.
Precisely. Which leads us to what she calls the absolute foundation for all of this lasting change.
Self-care, the non-negotiable.
Yes. She paints that picture of the nightmare we are living, the constant rush, distraction, doing.
Checking email first thing, skipping breakfast, eating at the desk, rushing home. Just constant motion.
Leading to total disconnect, overwhelm, poor choices. Just surviving, not thriving.
And self-care, she insists, has to feel good, not like another chore.
It requires believing you're worth it and believing you have the time challenging those stories again.
So what are her key non-negotiables for health and vitality?
She lists 5. Sleep, cooking, exercise, meditation, and silence.
Okay, let's break this down. Sleep.
She calls it fat-burning beauty. Aim for 8 hours, ideally 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. Visualize waking up refreshed as motivation to get to bed.
And actually getting out of bed or getting to bed.
Yeah, that's where she brings in Mel Robbins' 5-second rule. That impulse hits, get up now, or go to bed now, count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and move before your brain argues.
Don't give the doubt a chance.
Right. Frame bedtime as getting paid in healing. Wake up as the first day of vacation. Adapt for parents, obviously.
Okay, next. Cooking food prep. She uses that fun Italian Grandma Epron idea.
Never trust a skinny cook. Meaning someone who enjoys preparing food likely has a healthy relationship with it. Cooking is self-care.
Practical tips here.
Limit eating out, maybe 4 times a week max. Plan restaurant meals ahead from the menu when you're clear-headed. Batch, cook dinner plus lunch for the next day.
And the routine.
Crucial. Consistent grocery day, consistent prep day like Sunday. Make it a ritual. Plan before you shop. Don't sweat wasting food at first, just build a habit. And plan post-vacation meals before leaving.
Smart. Prevents that immediate derailment. Okay, exercise.
A must. Mind, body, aging well. Burns calories, yes, but more about overall movement and vitality. Don't just rely on cutting calories. Schedule it like an important meeting. It's a must, not a should.
And she tackles those resource excuses again. Time, money, head on. It's about resourcefulness, not just resources. It's an attitude, not a checklist. Focus on your top 5 non-negotiables, some daily, some weekly. Create rituals.
And why is this self-care foundation so critical?
Because it strengthens your intuition, that inner voice guiding you, helping you discern hunger cues, pulling you out of judgment. Without self-care, it's just another diet. Doomed.
Okay, so mind work, self-care. Now let's touch on manifestation. Sounds a bit out there, maybe.
She makes it practical. Core idea.
Yeah.
You attract what you focus on. Worrying about gaining weight, you're sending energy there.
So how do you shift that focus?
Mental rehearsal. 3 minutes a day. Visualize living in your desired healthy state, but focus intensely on how it feels. The feeling is key.
Yeah, feel the energy, the confidence. You'll know you're connecting when your face literally reacts, a smile, softer eyes.
And she offers hope. There's lag time. One negative thought doesn't instantly create reality.
You can course correct.
Yeah.
And one positive thought can cancel out 2 negative ones.
That's what she suggests, like gratitude dissolving complaints, which leads to the trained mind.
Your mind, source of suffering and happiness, needs training.
Her technique, best case scenario thinking. Facing a challenge, ask, what's the absolute best outcome possible here?
Shifts focus immediately to solutions, not problems.
Yeah.
Makes you feel stronger now.
Right, and those negative emotions, frustration, worry, guilt, See them as trigger emotions.
Not problems, but cues.
Exactly. Cues that it's time for inner work inquiry. Guilt's useful for a second. Oops, misalignment. But dwelling becomes shame.
And the inquiry questions.
Simple stuff. What am I feeling? What story am I telling myself? What do I need to let go of? What spiritual practice is needed now? Patience, love, surrender. Get to the root thought, find peace.
But this isn't a one-and-done thing.
Oh no. Daily work, maybe hundreds of times a day at first, like in traffic.
It really highlights language and focus. What you focus on, you feel. Language drives focus.
Always something wrong, always something right. Your words set the tone. Like her overwhelmed mantra, it always gets done, this is a gift. Changes the story, changes the feeling. Words create reality.
This all seems to build towards what might be the most challenging, but maybe most important part. Self-love and acceptance.
This is often the sticking point, isn't it? That fear. If I accept myself as I am, won't I lose motivation to change?
But she flips that completely.
Totally. Trying to change out of self-hate, punishment, it just doesn't work long term. Berating yourself, you fat pig, creates discomfort. And what do we seek when uncomfortable?
Often those comfort foods that backfire.
Exactly. Lasting change comes from love, respect, acceptance first. Then you're empowered to change. Think about talking trash about a friend than asking for a favor. Your body feels that same betrayal.
So she suggests making a literal peace treaty with your body.
Yeah. Write it a letter. Apologize. Set rules for how you'll speak to it, especially the parts you judge. She shared her Lululemon story.
Realizing her insecurity wasn't her, it was a not enough story she believed.
Right. Separating self from behavioral appearance makes forgiveness possible. It ends the internal war.
Like negotiating with that inner toddler wanting instant gratification, instead of just yelling at it. Compassion, not force.
She gives exercises too. Letting go statements. When I let go of X, I can achieve Y. Writing the peace treaty, listing things you love about yourself, and saying them.
And dealing with guilt. Useful signal, but don't let it become shame. Reflect, rewrite, learn, move on.
The core message running through it all. Permanent permission to be gentle with yourself. Stop thinking being hard on yourself is the key. Life teaches through consequences. Learn with compassion.
It connects to trust, doesn't it? Trusting yourself, trusting life is unfolding for you, seeing challenges like weight as messengers.
Yes. The real work happens during life, not after you reach some goal.
So how does this all come together? Integration? Fulfillment?
Well,
Does becoming spiritually fulfilled mean you suddenly hate junk food?
No, not necessarily. Those foods can still taste good,
Right.
but fulfillment neutralizes the obsession. Food loses its power. It's just food again. You can make logical choices based on how it makes you feel long term.
Like her Italy honeymoon story? Full permission to eat anything.
But with conscious awareness. After a few days of indulgence, she naturally felt the effects, lower energy, discomfort.
And naturally gravitated back to healthier choices.
Yes, from self-love, not guilt. Still enjoyed treats, but the real victory was internal. Decisions from empowerment, not fear. Fulfillment came from the whole experience, not just the plate.
So it's a zigzag path, not a straight line.
Totally. Allow occasional zigs off your usual path. Experience them, learn, then rebound naturally to what feels good. Effort becomes more effortless. Eating junk eventually feels worse than eating well. That's transformation.
And it all comes back to that gentleness.
Yes, be easier on yourself. Life teaches. Forgive yourself for being perfectly imperfect. Learn, grow, move forward with a stronger mind and a softer heart.
Wow. Okay, so recapping this deep dive. Lasting health, permanent weight loss, it's clearly not just about calories or rules.
Not at all. It's this whole journey, retraining the mind, understanding emotional eating, challenging limiting stories, making self-care non-negotiable fuel.
Cultivating presence, practicing radical self-love and acceptance.
And the physical results, the weight, the health markers, they become a reflection of that deep internal transformation.
This material really gives such a different perspective, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It explains why past attempts might have failed.
And gives actual tools to approach it differently, from empowerment, self-compassion, awareness.
It's a powerful roadmap. So to leave everyone listening with something to chew on,
Go for it.
if your body or maybe your relationship with food feels like a real challenge right now, pause and ask yourself, what deeper lesson might this challenge be trying to teach me about another area of my life?
Shifting from problem to messenger.
Exactly. How can you start seeing it not just as something broken that needs fixing, but as a messenger offering a chance for profound growth and understanding?